Welcome to our next episode of Skin After Dark. I'm Laura, your host, and today I am joined by Trish from InMode, Head of Aesthetics. Trish, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I'm so pumped to have you on today. Let's go into what's your role with InMode, why are you in the industry, bring it all out.
Okay, why am I in the industry? I fell into it after being within the cosmetic dental space. So I thought I needed to be with something that's a little bit more fast-paced, a little bit more evolving with technology and up-and-coming trends. And I landed with InMode. My role with InMode is to incorporate regenerative aesthetics and medicine into the technologies that we have, that being exosomes. And I believe that's why we're here today to talk about.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Can you give our listeners kind of a background on InMode, what they are, who they are, where they're from?
So InMode is one of the global leaders in medical devices when it comes to radio frequency device. We are Morpheus 8, as you probably are well aware about it. You use it. We are all about Lamecca. And as now we've gone into that laser space, so into pico lasers and Q-switch lasers. And that's who InMode are. Everyone knows Morpheus 8. And they don't know InMode as such, but we are Morpheus 8.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I feel like it's somewhere like when I talk to clients in clinic and things and I'm like, oh, we have like the InMode devices. They have no idea what we're saying.
No.
But when I say we have Morpheus 8, they're like, okay, yeah, like we're here.
Yes.
Amazing. So let's go into exosomes. I feel like that's your passion, that's your background. So what are exosomes?
In a nutshell, I mean, I'm going to be very, I'll dumb it down a little bit, not only for me, that's how I had to learn about them. Essentially, they're little messengers that carry really important information. So they carry things like proteins, growth factors, peptides, and they signal between cells. So they have all this important, like little WhatsApp messages. They WhatsApp between cells and giving instructions to cells on what to do.
Perfect. And where do exosomes come from? So for me, I have human-derived exosomes in clinic, but I'm also very aware that there is plant-based exosomes. So run me through of where exosomes actually come from.
So you can get different forms of sources of exosomes. You can get them from plant. To be specific, rose stem cell. So that's come from Damaski rose. You can get them from animal. You can get them from blood cells like umbilical cord. In our case, we get them from human adipose, so fatty tissue.
Yeah. And how is that derived?
How do we get the...
Like how do you get the exosomes? So from, InMode there under the, what was I going to say just then?
Oh, no.
With InMode, it's more so derived from your adipose tissue. So how are you doing that? Because we have heard and I've looked at different brands and things and I'm sure that you're very aware.
You're not getting it from a 14-year-old Korean girl.
Yes. So I feel like there's brands out there that they do say that.
Have you seen the picture of the 14-year-old Korean girl? Because that's very strange how people market it based on that. No, we are very strict on the way that the company that we source from get their exosomes, and it's ethically sourced. It is a paid donor program, so they go through a very strict process, and it comes from liposuction. So we are getting it from an actual patient who is getting lipo. We pay them for their adipose tissue, their excess fat, and then we go through a very stringent, patented purification process.
Perfect. And then in regards to like the comparison of your plant-based exosomes and your human-derived exosomes, what is the difference? Because in some countries, I know when I attended Paris 2 years ago, last year, we went to the RAISE conference and there was so much about, different countries having exosomes that are illegal. So how is the difference in Australia? I feel like we're so behind. How do we have human-derived?
Yeah. So I guess it depends. Sorry to cut you off. So I guess it just depends on the pathway. Yeah. So the pathway of regulatory. So we are lucky enough in Australia that the pathway is topical. The pathway is through a company called AICIS. It's Australian Chemical Industry Scheme, blah, 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 blah. And that is our pathway. So other countries, they see as human adipose as illegal. They don't have an actual pathway for us. They see it as a biologic, even though, yes, we do sit in this grey zone because it stems from human. There is a bit of a grey zone, hence there's a lot of misconception about exosomes, which I'm sure we'll go into.
Yeah.
But other countries are typically using our rose stem cell exosomes, and there's a reason why we chose rose as opposed to them allowing them other sources.
Yeah. So what, like, if we were to have clients in clinic and they're coming in, and we've had it before where we are asked, you know, where they derive from, and we do obviously have to at the end of the day say they're human derived. People freak out about that. But how can we as technicians in clinic like recommend clients to use exosomes? What are the benefits of using exosomes post a Morpheus 8 treatment or during a skin needling treatment?
So I guess essentially you're giving them two treatments in one. People see it as just as an add-on as a serum, but it's more than that. It's not, I'm going to give you a serum to help heal you. Yes, exosomes are designed for wound healing from back in the 1980s, so they have been around for years. But then only recently we've discovered how amazing they are in the regeneration process of cells, and that's where aesthetic comes in. They are helping the healing process after Morpheus 8 or after any type of laser or thermal injury by speeding up the process, with the added benefit of enhancing results from your Morpheus treatment, from your laser treatment, from microneedling treatments.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one because for me, I love to get into kind of different things, but when it comes to exosomes, for me, I was always taught to apply exosomes onto an open wound. You needed to have that channel for them to penetrate down, right?
Yeah.
Why then is there clinics doing them like a vial of exosomes after an LED or after a peel or something when you don't have that channel? How do, like, I refuse to do that in clinic, but why do they do that? And is there any benefits in doing that?
No. I don't see it as, there is some benefits, but you're there to treat an indication. You can use them post LED, post, facial, whatever you want to do, but ideally you need that microchannel. They are still designed to absorb topically without any microchanneling. However, you're only using it for hydration in that point. You're not using it to help symptoms of, pigmentation. You're not there to treat skin tightening, melasma, all of that.
Yeah. So if I then had a client coming in and they're using exosomes in clinic and we apply that vial, we then get asked all the time, like, because we've derived it from adipose tissue or you've derived it from an umbilical cord or something that's human derived, how do we then explain to clients there's no traces of DNA and you're not putting someone else's DNA directly into an open wound?
There is no DNA whatsoever in any of our exosomes, for the fact that it goes through an isolation purification process. The way I would explain it is you're looking at an egg. Yep. You've got an egg, you're extracting the yolk, which doesn't contain any DNA, and then we're purifying and isolating that yolk or exosome with obviously very high-end technology, $80 million worth of research and development that goes into this type of technology to purify, isolate, remove any waste, that be cell debris, DNA, anything like that, and then applied. And so, we are very safe. We would not be able to have exosomes in the country if they contained DNA, because we have safety data profile, we have toxology reports that we need to yearly basically send to our regulatory board to show that there's nothing in there whatsoever, traces of cells or DNA.
So then let's go into off-label injecting with exosomes, because again, off-label injections, most doctors, some doctors and things like that do them. What are the benefits of that, and why in Australia is it off-label per se to inject exosomes?
It's actually not even off-label, it's actually illegal.
Yep, there we go.
Sorry, just going to say that.
Yeah.
First of all, off-label, when we're talking off-label, we're talking about Botox or a toxin being injected somewhere where there's no indication for. So Eumacidus, for example, wasn't an indication for Botox, but people were using it. That is considered off-label.
Yeah.
when we're talking a product that's designed for topical only, people are injecting, that is actually illegal. However, because they can. Because if you're going to choose a product that is safe to inject, you would look at the purification, you would look at the way that it's manufactured and all the clinical studies. So you can inject, but if you are injecting an exosome, it needs to be a pure exosome. Yeah. However, again, regulatory-wise, you don't need to, first of all, because you're not going to get any benefit. That's different to in combination. The product is designed for combination therapy. It's not as a monotherapy. You can't say, I'm going to inject you and it's this magic treatment you're going to get all these results from. It's not. It needs to be done in combination with other therapies to actually get the benefits out of it. Yeah,
okay. So then what is, like you say, it needs to be a total exosome or whatever it is. So what is the difference then between a freeze-dried exosome that some brands have and then a liquid form exosome that you then need to keep directly in the fridge? What's the difference and why are they different?
Because that's a fake exosome. Sorry. I can't help. I have to. Yeah. So lyophilized, freeze-dried. So big difference. It's all about the stability of the product. Yeah. When you're comparing it to other liquid brands, you've got conditioned media, which is what's extracted out of the stem cell. Yep. Conditioned media contains a whole crap load of unwanted things like antibiotics, cell debris. That actually causes inflammation in some cases. So we then go one extra step. We then extract all the conditioned media, then we purify that conditioned media, isolate every little tiny exosome that's in the conditioned media and put it all together, and then we freeze dry it for consistency, for purity, and at the same time for stability. You cannot have a liquid exosome sitting in a room temperature vial and say that's an exosome. There are no exosomes. If you put that under a microscope and go looking for that exosome, you will not find it.
So then how are these products then on the market? Like how are they advertised as exosomes?
Anyone can advertise an exosome. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I can get a lip gloss and say it has an exosome in it, even if it's derived from something that's has exosomes in it. We might need to cut that. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So not all exosomes are created equal. Yeah. Yeah. So that product that's a liquid can be whatever it is, $30, $70, $100. It's not, you're not paying for an exosome. In that case, you're paying for whatever else is in that ingredient.
Okay, so then let's go into skincare, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go back again. For me, I was always, taught for an exosome, it has to be under the controlled wound, you're putting a serum and things like that. Yeah. There's now so many brands on the market that are very expensive that are exosome products. Yeah. How then is that working on the skin if we say that exosomes need to be used on a controlled wound? Like, how is it then skincare with exosomes in it? What is that whole story?
Yeah. So I can answer that because now I've launched a home care with exosomes.
Let's go into it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So difference being in clinic versus at home. In clinic, you're getting a full dose of exosomes. Mm-hmm. At home, we are not using human adipose. We're using rose stem cell exosomes. The difference being is that it's half the fraction of the dosage, and we're doing it daily. So we're microdosing a topical exosome for like a 24-hour care. So it's just supporting the in-clinic treatment on a 24-hour basis after. So you're getting incredible results from your in-clinic treatments. And we're, again, microdosing to keep up that action, to keep up that cellular signaling topically. Yes, you need microchannels for most, but again, because of the size of the exosome, it is still designed to absorb topically. So it still has great benefits.
So then would you say, for example, like the brand that you are with, would you recommend that it's kind of pointless then if they haven't had a treatment of Morpheus? Would you recommend it to someone that hasn't had any wound-controlled injury to just go straight bang onto that
100%.
product.
I tell you why.
Yeah, tell me why.
Again, very minimal dose of exosomes in our skincare products.
Yeah.
The way that it's purified, sterilized, manufactured, it is encapsulated. So you'll find little balls in these products that will break once they hit the skin to release the exosome. Mm-hmm. From that, it's still topical. So it's still going to penetrate the skin topically for hydration, for keeping for even just thickening your skin and getting you ready and prepped for a minimally invasive treatment. So it's helping with the hydration and the quality of the skin either way, with or without the in-clinic treatment.
Okay. So then we always get asked all the time in clinic, why are they so expensive? Like, why is it such a pricey point to add a little tiny vial of a serum or an exosome home care? Why do you feel like it is a pricey point?
Science costs money.
Yes, very much. Science. But how do you explain that to a client?
I know.
Had to have clinical background, and there's so much. How do you explain that?
You're getting what you're paying for. So you can compare it to other clinics, and they say they're charging, $2.99 for an add-on of exosomes.
Yeah.
I would challenge that price because, first of all, how is it manufactured? You've got to ask the questions, right? I guess the patient's not going, your client's not going to ask these questions. No. But how would you explain it? They're getting two treatments in one. Mm-hmm. So they're getting the cellular talking between cells internally at a cellular level, and then you're getting the mechanism of action from your other device. Yeah. So your microneedling device. So they're getting two treatments in one for a fraction of the cost if they were to do it separately. So it's still, say, $800 without a device and just using a skin needling pen versus an RF. So we don't really like to call it an add-on because it's more than just an add-on serum. It's an actual treatment in itself. Yeah. So it's a dual approach.
Cool. Okay. So then we all know a brand that goes around and they talk about how it's derived from a 14-year-old girl living in Korea. She's 14 for several years now. Like, how do you then...
She stays young because she's been on exosomes intravenously, illegally.
Like, it's just crazy because there is a brand that does market themselves like this. And I just think...
Is that the one with the picture of the girl on their brochure?
Yeah, her name's like Rose or something. And, and it's just ironic, right? Because...
Yeah, first of all, that is not a donor. Donors are actually meant to be anonymous. Yeah. Yeah. Is she 14?
Well, this is what this brand does say. It's a 14-year-old Korean girl. And
how is that ethically right?
This is
and morally right?
And I feel like so many different skincare owners that, all know about this person because obviously these reps have gone to these clinics and it's just weird to me.
I have heard the story. I have seen the Rose girl. I would definitely challenge that. Everyone loves a marketing story and obviously it's working for them because it's a 14-year-old girl. Yeah. But... no, it's a marketing story.
So scientifically, like, their exosomes can't just be derived by this one girl. Like, there is obviously several donors out there.
So they don't have, without naming brands, this particular company don't have their own manufacturing facility. Yeah. So they are sourcing from other third-party people to get one product. Yeah. So when you're looking at a superior or a premium exosome company, we do everything in-house. Yeah. So from donor process to manufacturing to purification to sterilization. Yeah. Our donors go through a master cell bank. So we have a handful of donors. We put them through a master cell bank where we replicate cells. And then from there, we exhaust them up until a certain point because you can only do it at a certain point. Mm-hmm. So this girl obviously can't produce. They can't, unless they're, as she's getting older, they can only get so much, right? So then from this particular master cell bank, we exhaust them and then we go again from another very select donor group. Okay. But I don't know where I was going with that, but...
Yeah, no, that's good.
That no to the 14-year-old girl.
No to the 14-year-old girl. We can scrap that one.
So...
Okay, so then let's go into more of like regenerative treatments. Obviously, you spend quite a bit of time in Korea. Obviously, the exosomes that you do work with are based from Korea.
Yeah.
So let's go into kind of what's happening in Korea at the moment, why your exosomes are from Korea, and what regenerative treatments are coming in from Korea.
I guess we all like to think Korea's ahead of the game when it comes to aesthetics, and they are. They definitely are. We're not that far behind because we do keep up with, we fall under the APAC, the Asian, region. So we do like to keep up with what's happening in Asia. Yes, we might be a few years behind. But what they do really well, which we're finally adapting here, is regenerative layering technique, which is all about combination therapy.
Yeah.
You people do destination aesthetics. They do fly to Korea. They get 10 treatments done in a day. Yes, is it aggressive? It seems aggressive, but if they're combining therapies, it's all about protocols and, lowering the protocols to then get the final results in a day. But what we're finally adapting here in regenerative aesthetics is you're layering. You're doing your microneedling. You're creating your foundation with a device like Morpheus. You're using a scaffolding, which is your polynucleotide, and then you're adding exosomes, which is your architect and your builders. So it's all about layering and building a house with your face with different technologies because they all work synergistically together.
Yeah, okay. So then, let's go into then Korean skincare because I feel like there's a lot of hype around it. People love it. People hate it. Look, I've had segments where I say there's some stuff that I can get around. There's other stuff that I feel is absolute trash. Mm-hmm. How then, what have you seen over there that's kind of coming through?
Oh, there's heaps of stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's so overwhelming and it's so confusing. And at the same time, you just want to bury your head and run away. When you go into those Olive Young stores, I don't know if you're familiar with these, you know, TikTok trending stores. And TikTok trends are a killer in our industry because you're basically putting crap on your face that has no science behind it, no clinical studies behind it. I mean, my daughter bought something off TikTok the other day, a snail something.
Yeah. Like snail mucin or something?
I don't know, something from Korea.
Yeah.
So I then just took that off her and just gave her some of my product and said, use this instead.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's trending. I mean, you don't do aesthetics because of a trend.
No.
I don't know where we were going. What?
No, yeah, that's kind of going into that. I think we see all the time on TikTok and things of people coming out and being like Korean skincare and this and that, and how you being in Korea and things, what are you seeing that's coming back to Australia that you agree with or you don't agree with? And
well, it's the exosomes, PDRNs in your home care.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. That's all well and good. And I see it as a benefit. But other things that are just because a Korean pop star has modeled it, that's what's trending.
Yeah.
That's how they follow those trends. So unless it has science behind it or it's backed by a global company, then I say no.
Yeah. I'm very, very passionate about that one. I feel like when it comes to social media, when it comes to TikTok, I feel like I go on nearly every person I have in with social media and TikTok and things. And with obviously Korea being, I feel like, the leaders in the aesthetic industry at the moment, how do you then say to our listeners that, your products that are from Korea and, manufactured that way are better than something that you're buying at a W Cosmetics or whatever?
Different. It's a different technology. So they don't put a skincare product it doesn't go through a really strict R&D research development. We've got professors. We've got, Nobel Peace Prize winners who founded exosomes, on our medical board from Sweden. So it's not just one company. It's a group of people who have come together to create this particular, huge manufacturing biopharmaceutical company to then create technology that is used not only in aesthetics, but it's used in, COVID-19 vaccines. It's used in different types of inflammatory diseases and, immunotherapy for cancer treatment. So there's so many options, so many things that you look at for a product that has behind the scenes that's not just a home care product,
like there's all that clinical backing and that's
it's all about the science behind the product, and I'm all for science, and versus TikTok.
Thank God for that.
I mean, I learned some things off TikTok, but that's more other things than science.
Look, I do love a doom scroll, and I feel like I find myself scrolling, but yes, there's a time and a place for that. Okay, what then regenerative treatments do you feel like InMode is bringing in? Is there anything that you can say, or anything that's just launched?
We've obviously launched the home care, which is doing really well. It complements the other products that we sell. Now, with what's coming from InMode, I cannot say, but I've got a very interesting meeting this evening to introduce another form of regenerative device that's not an actual machine, it's an actual product that could be injected or may not be injected. But the space is growing when it comes to regenerative medicine. I'm sure you've seen what 100%. Polynucleotides are doing, what peptides are doing.
Yes.
Peptides, I'm sure you've got another whole episode
on. There's a whole thing. I did one a few weeks ago with Ellie, and we went into literally peptides, and just that whole space is massive, and I think it is something that is going to absolutely take off. Yeah. But that's a whole other app.
So so there's lots of spaces that I'm investigating with TGA currently, with all different forms. So you watch this space when it comes to all of that stuff.
Yeah, exciting. Yeah, I feel like there's just a world that we can just keep going into, and 1,000 things can keep coming in. Okay, so then do you feel like regenerative treatments are overtaking injectables, or do you feel like there's a space for both, or do you feel like injectables is getting kicked to the curb?
No, absolutely. There's space for both. Yeah. They work really well together. Nothing's going to replace a toxin.
Yeah. I love a bit of a toxin.
I love toxins. I'm actually 55. Close to it. Oh my gosh. The filler, I mean, we've seen market-wise, from when I do a lot of research into introducing new products, filler has dropped an incredible amount. I mean, we all love a good lip fill, but the other areas, we can do regenerative aesthetics to replace filler by quality of skin.
And is there any regenerative treatments that you're like completely for, and you're like, let's go into this, and we should be seeing more like in clinics? And is there any regenerative treatments that you're against and you're not really for?
Fake exosomes I'm not all for, because you might as well be putting
water,
something on your face.
Saline.
Saline. Bit of HA on your face. What am I for? I'm for polynucleotides, of course, because they work really well with exosomes, and they work really well with medical devices. They all have like a 3-step, put it all together, you're going to get some amazing results. What was the next question?
Is there any that you're for and against? And so I guess you've
fake exosomes I'm against. I'm against.
So
I mean, PRP, that's a dying breed. Yeah. Again, that's in a whole other episode we can discuss. But
I actually was saying in another episode the other day that I had saw this girl on TikTok, and she was like, I found the new treatment. It's the IT treatment, and it was PRP. And I was
PRF.
And I was
PPP.
Like, this was a thing maybe like go back 10 years ago where it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just absolutely died. But like, is that coming back?
Do you feel like... It still has a place, again, depending on your patient or your client. So depending on the age, you're going
to be fit as anything. Yeah. Like healthy.
Yeah. But it's still going to have some benefits. I just would not give you PRP for predictable results, because it's very inconsistent.
Yeah. So then what's your thought on Redurin?
If it came from a different supplier, in a different...
Not derived from a salmon.
No. Yeah. Salmon's fine. You can get some really good PDNs or PDRNs, whatever the acronym is for it. It's I don't know. Will I get bashed on this if I say? Redurin is okay. Yeah. It has a lot of adverse reactions. Mm-hmm. A lot. Yeah. That I've seen plenty. Yeah. But not due to technique, not due to anything. It's just due to the response, the inflammatory response of every patient's different.
Yeah. I feel like that comes through to, again, like your science and your backgrounds and your clinical papers and your clinical studies. And I've had different people on here and they've both said they feel like the results of it is great. And some
it's
people...
short-lived.
Yes. I had Redurin and I feel like it's short-lived. But then I'm probably also not the right candidate for Redurin. I feel like I did it because it was available and I was like, let's go. But didn't really...
It's short-lived. It's not there. It's not designed for longevity.
Yeah.
Exosomes is. So if you're comparing exosomes to to a Redurin, if we're going to name brands, it's a quick fix.
Yeah.
It will tell you it will fix your dark circles. It hasn't fixed my dark circles.
Yeah, I feel like that's something we always see in clinic, but it doesn't really do much for the dark circles. Yeah.
No. So it's not ideally... It's not a long-term... It's a short-term fix.
Yeah.
That you'll need to continue doing.
Like several treatments.
Yeah. For
Forever.
lots of little bumps all over your face.
Oh, yeah, it was wild. I looked insane.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
It looks like I had like just, well, look, I'm actually going into my 4th treatment of it, so I can't bash it that much.
Oh, wow. You're really
because
having a go.
Like, the thing is, right, is that I can order it in clinic. So I was like, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Ordered 4, so I've got to use them. I can't just let it like sit there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, we'll do it. But yeah, the downtime of it is pretty gnarly. Like,
yeah. Put some exosomes on the top
and
of it.
that's a smart idea. Exactly.
Yes. You've created microchannels.
Oh, it's wild. It is painful too. All right, let's finish with our quick fire questions. So I'll quickly ask you and then whatever quick answer you kind of get into your head. Are exosomes the future or just the latest trend?
Future and present and past.
Stunning. Are exosomes traces of DNA and stem cells?
No.
Are some clinics using the word regenerative as a marketing buzzword?
Yes.
Why are exosomes illegal in certain countries?
It depends on the regulatory pathway. If they don't have a regulatory pathway for human-derived, then you can't use it. And because they're classified as biologic, we're just very lucky in Australia, we have a grey zone.
Do consumers actually understand what they're paying for when they're buying exosomes?
No. Sorry.
Which is wild. Like,
yeah, no.
You should really know what you're buying.
It's probably my job to explain this a bit more, but anyway.
As mine with people coming in clinics, right? Will regenerative treatments eventually replace filler?
Half and half.
What is the biggest misconception about exosomes?
They contain DNA.
What is one thing practitioners get wrong about regenerative aesthetics?
One treatment fixes all.
Yep, that's a big one. What treatment do you feel like is dying?
PRP.
Sorry. Yes. What treatment trend do you feel like is only just beginning?
Combination therapy. Layering.
Like stacking all your devices and your treatments.
Yeah.
Most overrated treatment right now?
Treatment or product?
Treatment.
Can I say facials?
I'm going to get cut for that because I have a clinic. But, I mean, look, relaxing facials, yes.
Okay. That's not overrated because they're there for a reason.
Yeah. What type of facials do you feel?
Oh, like peels and acid peels and scrubbing peels.
Yep.
Don't scrub.
Like exfoliation.
Yep.
Yep. Most underrated treatment. Most underrated treatment.
Using an LED light.
Yeah. I'm a big LED fan.
Good.
And then one aesthetic trend you'll ban forever.
Oh, I can say it with 2 seconds flat. Beef tallow.
Yes. We have done an ep. We've done several eps on this, and that will be banned in my world forever.
Oh, good. Thank gosh.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks, love.
That gets us to the end. So that was really good.